Hello and welcome back to Ajwal Diaries. I'm your host Reena and I'm thrilled to have you here today. So, today we are going to dive into a topic that is not only practical but also very important in our everyday lives: managing finances. Now, you might be wondering, why are we talking about money and finance in an English learning podcast? Well, the reason is simple. Finance is a universal part of life, and learning how to talk about it in English will help you in many situations. Whether you are budgeting your expenses, opening a bank account, applying for a loan, or even just discussing money matters with friends or colleagues. Let me take you into a little story to make this topic come alive. Imagine you have just moved to a new city for work. You receive your first salary, and now you are thinking, how do I manage this money wisely? You might want to save some, spend some, and maybe invest a little too. Now, if you know the right financial vocabulary in English, you can explain your plans clearly to others. You could say, I want to create a monthly budget to track my income and expenses. I plan to save a portion of my salary in a saving account and invest a little in mutual fund. Doesn't that sound clear and confident? When we talk about managing finances, there are a few keywords and phrases that really help. Words like income, expenses, budget, savings, investments, credit, debt, interest, and balance are commonly used. For example, instead of saying I spend too much money, you could say my monthly expenses are higher than my income, so I need to cut back. Or instead of saying I keep money aside, you can say I save a portion of my earning each month. These phrases make you sound more professional and precise. Now let's make it even more interesting with another story. Imagine you are in a bank and the officer asks, how can I help you today? You want to say, I would like to open a saving account so I can manage my finances better. Or maybe you are applying for a loan and you explain, I need this loan to support my small business and I have a repayment plan in place. These sentences not only show that you know what you want, but also that you are confident in expressing it in English. Managing finances is not just about money, it's also about habits. When you share your financial habit in English, it also becomes a good way to practice the language. For example, you can say, I track all my expenses in a diary, or I use a mobile app to monitor my budget. If you are someone who invests, you could say, I have recently started investing in stocks, but I make sure to research before making any decisions. These sentences show that you are actively managing your money and also practicing rich financial vocabulary. Another thing to remember is how to discuss long term goals. If someone asks you about your future plan, you can say, I am saving for higher education, or I am planning to buy a house in the next 5 years, so I'm building a financial plan. Talking about goals in this way not only makes your English more natural but also shows a forward looking mindset. But let's be honest, sometimes finances are not easy. We may face debt or struggle with high expenses. So, how can we talk about that in English? Instead of just saying, I don't have money, you can say, I'm currently facing some financial difficulties and I need to reduce unnecessary spending. Or, I'm working on paying off my credit card debt step by step. These kinds of sentences are polite, realistic, and much more professional. Now let's think about the role of discipline. You could say managing finances requires discipline and planning. I try to differentiate between needs and wants. This kind of expression not only improves your English but also gives you a clear way to share your thoughts. So, to summarize, managing finances in English is about learning the right vocabulary, structuring your sentences clearly, and sharing your financial habits, plans, and goals. Whether you are talking about budgeting, saving, investing, or even facing financial challenges, The way you express yourself matters a lot. It makes you sound professional, responsible, and confident. As we close today's episode, I want to encourage you to practice this with your own life. Take a notebook and write down 3 sentences about how you manage your money. Maybe something like, I set aside 20% of my salary as savings, or I monitor my monthly expenses to avoid overspending. Then try saying these sentences out loud in English. The more you practice, the easier it will be talk about finances fluently. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, money management is not just a life skill, it's also a communication skill. By learning how to express financial ideas in English, you are preparing yourself for both personal success and professional opportunities. Keep practicing, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, stay confident and keep managing your money wisely.